Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage, and today I am interviewing Cindy Ertman, the one and only, uh, not only a very special friend of mine, an incredible mortgage executive, a transformational coach and mentor, and Cindy, super excited about this conversation.
Thanks, Dave. I love being with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's fun. So, as you guys have noticed, I'm doing these YouTube channel conversations. I love them because they're just easy to do. You know, it's like push a button, Skype, record, push it into YouTube. It's a great way to bring great loan officers together, and it's a great way to mastermind as a community of mortgage professionals. And when I think of masterminding, the concept of learning from peers learning from each other, I just think of Cindy Ertman. You know, it's like mastermind, Cindy Ertman. And I'm not just talking about the event. I'm talking about the concept of masterminding. So Cindy, you're an incredible success story. If you could, for people that don't know you, share a little bit about your background. Just, I mean, I know you could do it in 10 minutes, but like a minute, and
Okay.
then and try to do that in a way that talks about how mastermind is part of your story.
Okay. Well, first of all, real quickly, I would like to really acknowledge you, Dave, because one of the things I've really paid close attention to, you've always been a leader in the industry and a friend for a long time, but I've really watched you raise the bar over the last 2 years, and you've led really a myriad of mastermind groups. And in essence, through Mortgage Coach, created one of the greatest mastermind groups that we have in the industry today as a collective of Mortgage Coach members, sharing Mortgage Coach information, and helping bring people together to share best practices. So just wanted you to know you've done a great job, and we are paying attention. So great job.
Well, Mortgage Coach has a great team. I don't do it myself.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, my background, 27 years in the mortgage industry, was fortunate enough to go into the top 100 originators for more than a decade, and really a lot through building key relationships. Building referral partners has always been one of my core strengths and one of the things that I teach now in my mastermind group. But I always made a point to go to events in the mortgage industry, and I would seek out key leaders. I talked to you about this the other day, Dave. I did it my whole career. I remember going to an event and setting my sights on meeting Dave Savage, and we became very good friends over the years. Going to an event and meeting Barry Habib and meeting Stephen Marshall and Tim Brahim, and really creating connection with these people and learning from some of the best in the industry. So my life has really been a collective of masterminding with key leaders and just realizing that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, there's such great information and strategies that have already been implemented by some key leaders. So why not just do what they do? And that was sort of the way I built my success over the last many years.
Well, you are an incredible success story. For anybody that wants to learn more about Cindy's success story, one, I've interviewed her before. I've interviewed her in one of her coaching clients before, Michele Town. I'm going to put links to those below. So if you really, and I, not if you want, you should listen to some of those conversations because they are tremendous learning experiences. So, you know, you're watching this on YouTube, down below, there will be a box with a description. It will have links that I reference. So I'll put at least two videos down there. So Cindy, I mean, we both are leaders in the industry. We coach, we mentor loan officers. Most of the people that run in the packs that we do, they are like, I want to be a coach to the families that I serve. I want to be an advisor to my realtors. You know, I mean, we run with a group of folks that believe in, you know, the best salespeople are the best teachers. That's who we are, and that's who runs with us. And then we also both realize that technology, you know, kind of high touch, high tech is where it's at.
Right.
And so, I mean, I wrote that post in LinkedIn the other day where I talked about, you know, the disruption is happening. The referral-based loan officer needs to use tech. I loved your Facebook post just last night, you know, where you were talking about, it wasn't about tech, it was about high touch. So I mean, what advice do you have for loan officers today? Let's focus on referral-based local originators when it comes to masterminding so that they can become better high-tech, high-touch professionals.
Right. Well, you know, part of the story that I left out is I went from top producer to running a branch and running a region for one of the largest mortgage banks in the US. And 3 years ago, left part of that role to launch my own coaching and training company, because one of my gifts and my passions is teaching and training and helping people be successful. I love teaching success habits. So one of the things that's been a big deal for me and teaching others is helping people really get clear on what their core strengths are and helping them shine a brighter light on that so that they can show up in a different way with their referral partners. Because I'm still in the trenches calling on realtors, presenting to real estate offices, presenting to financial planners. And a lot of why I still do that is to stay in touch with what works in today's world, what doesn't, how to master relationships at a very human core level. So how do we show up as an organic version of ourselves and really allow ourselves to show up as who we are and not get caught up on, we're selling rates, price, product, program, but let's show up from a different value place. So I always look at every relationship as what value am I going to bring to you? If I'm going to earn your business, I have to bring a special value. And people said to me, Dave, when I launched my coaching company, they said, well, why would a real estate agent do business with your team? Because they're not going to get you on the front line. I'm not on the front line with my clients. And that made sense, except I didn't believe that story. So a lot of us tell ourselves stories that just aren't true. And I help a lot of clients tell themselves a different story. So I thought, I just need to bring a different value proposition to my real estate partners. And every single loan officer can tap into their core strengths and share a different value proposition. I was listening to the interview that you did with Jeremy Forcier not too long ago. It was called Top 5 Questions for Realtors. And that really spoke to my heart, because that interview, although mortgage coach is at the key of how he's using technology to connect in that relationship with that realtor and set himself apart, but he shows up with different value questions for his real estate agents. And people lean in because he's asking questions of them that other loan officers aren't asking. And so if you haven't checked out that interview, I strongly suggest you do. It's a very powerful interview. Jeremy's a good friend. He's a major leader in the industry and filled with huge advice. He's been a guest with my coaching clients and my mastermind group, but he's key. But it's like, how do you show up from a place of a different value? And it's using your core strengths to provide a different value. So my core strengths are building relationships, building new referral partnerships. I consider myself a marketing expert, so I use my strengths to help my realtor partners get more business and, in essence, form a relationship and a team. So it's
you said a lot. I heard success habits, because we all know that if you don't do something consistently and it's not a habit,
right.
You're not going to be great at it, and it's not going to give you a strategic advantage. I heard the word team over and over and over, which is something you've been so great at. By the way, before I ask my next question, the link to that video with Jeremy, I'm going to put that below. And that is, I ask people all the time, what's your favorite mortgage coach video? And often lately they refer to that one because it's his most recent, but they often say, Jeremy, his scripts calls are the best. So he is really good. I'll put a link to that below. So let's talk about execution, because that's the other thing you've done is you didn't believe that story. So you had to do that with team. You've got a team that leverages technology. Like, you're probably not the one inputting and creating the total cost analysis on your team.
I'm not.
You've got a team that does that. What advice do you have for folks? Again, let's keep the mastermind theme, to mastermind and build a value prop that's right for them. And any other videos, they may be your videos, that would be good homework assignments for people so that they're getting value from today's conversation, and we're giving them homework to get even more value.
Right. Well, I'm a big believer in team. And I think a lot of the coaching that I do with loan originators is how to build a great team. Because a lot of people have said, I always hire the wrong people. I don't know how to train them. I don't know how to manage them. I don't know how to lead them. And that's true. Technically, we're salespeople. And so the key is, how do you transition yourself from loan originator to leader? And that's really what we're talking about here. If you're going to build an empowering team to take your business to the next level, you have to transition yourself from mortgage loan originator to leader. How are you going to empower your team? How are you going to create the vision for your team? How are you going to hold them accountable? How are you going to bring them into part of something greater than themselves? Because as a coach of mortgage originators clear across the country, I can tell you the number one reason people leave is culture. And within our own teams, not just company culture, but team culture, you can create an entirely different subculture to support people in a new and empowering way. So I think there's a lot about, people just need to get clear on some of the practices. When we talk about team, I always think about creating a team of really high impact and high touch, to your point. The people that are on the team need to understand, like a transaction coordinator or a mortgage loan assistant, they need to understand how their role plays into, let's say, as a loan originator, your 5-star review. You know, you don't get that review alone. You get that review because of your team and they're a reflection of you. And they need to understand that every communication they have impacts the experience for that customer. And so if they understand that every communication they have is creating an impact, they can work on how that communication gets delivered. If they understand there's a consequence to that and they're part of something great. I mean, we're helping people achieve the dream of home ownership, Dave, and we forget that sometimes. It's the single biggest financial investment of their future. So how does each part of the team collectively contribute to that success? And I think it's great to begin to have team meetings, lead a team, have them part of the vision, have them part of the solutions, have them part of how do we build something more efficient? How do we use technology like total loan analysis to be able to communicate with our realtor partners, to communicate with our clients, to communicate with their financial planners, and raise the bar and take it to a whole new level and have the whole team participate in that growth. It's a big deal. I see mid-tier producers become top producers because they understand building a community of the right team and how that impacts the relationship with their partners.
Love that. And by the way, I know the answer to this, but do your clients get a total cost analysis?
Yes, my partner Stephanie's the one on the front line with our clients, and she's a huge fan. Stephanie's a huge fan.
Yeah, and I have interviewed Stephanie, and she does an amazing job. So let's make this actionable from a mastermind standpoint for folks. I know if I asked you who are the 6, let's not put a number on it. Who are the loan officers that you've masterminded with that have had the most impact? It'd just be like boom, 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 boom. And I would just say, if you're new in the business and you're watching this, you know, your job should be mentors, finding mentors that you can mastermind with, you know, within your company, going to sales mastery, going to other mortgage events, mastermind, you know, but connecting with people and making friends that you respect, that you want to take your business to the next level. Obviously, you should be watching Mortgage Coach YouTube videos because, in a sense, we are masterminding. We're just doing it virtually. You should be coming to our calls. But Cindy, they should be doing other stuff. You know, what are some other things? And then also, I want to make sure that our community knows how to reach out and connect with you because you do mastermind events, you do coaching. So if you could just speak to some again, you're talking to loan officers. Some are brand new. Some are core producers. And then some of them are some of the most elite loan officers on the planet. What can they all do to take it to the next level?
You know, one of the things that I think we all need, myself included, is accountability. And that's one of the beauty of having a coach or a mastermind group. But you can also create accountability right in your own backyard. I have several different accountability partners for different things. I have one that helps me with health and wellness, and we have health and wellness goals together. But in the mortgage industry, like I just brought 4 kind of new originators that have been in the business like 2 years or less together as a collective. I did a coaching session with all 4 of them, but basically to give them some homework, and they're going to form an accountability partner together, the 4 of them. So they're going to form a partnership, but you can do that in your own offices to reach out to another loan officer that may be sort of where you are, that's a similar peer, and just sit down with them and come up with ideas around what you can do to hold each other accountable. And I really suggest that you set an intention on 3 major business goals over the next 90 days. And with those 3 overarching goals, then come up with 3 key action steps. I mean, very specific action steps on what you're going to do to implement those goals, and then hold each other accountable, because that's really the key to kind of moving the needle forward. I was on a coaching call this morning with a new coaching client, and she's joining my Mortgage Mastermind Elite group in October as well, but she kind of wanted to jump in and get started. So we're doing my Total Success Blueprint, which is a 90-day goal planning tool. And one of her things that she really wanted to focus on was creating a system to engage listing agents, because that's low-hanging fruit, and most loan originators don't really tap into that as a resource. So that, we came up with a plan over the next 90 days of 3 serious actionable steps that she can take to create a system to consistently go after listing agents. So I always teach anybody, and start thinking about things you can do to systematize your business. Things you create the program one time. I always say keep it simple. 3 steps, like do everything really, really simply, and make sure you have an action plan to deliver it consistently. Like, in this case, she's going to call the listing agent on the day of funding herself. She's going to call them. That's part of her system. She's going to text the listing agent her contact information out of her phone. She's got a letter that she put together that she's going to mail to the listing agent. So these kind of things where you've got 3 to 5 action items on every deal. They go into your database. And with her, we're going to do a touch point campaign for the next 6 weeks. But put a system together that is consistent on every single transaction. And that's how you build a business. Every time I'd go to Mastermind Summit, I would walk away, I go, I'm going to implement 3 things. I never did 20 things, 3 things, period. And little by little by little, all the stars aligned, and suddenly I did 200 million in production. That was years in the making, but by taking 3 steps at a time to build and grow and systematize my business. So, and it's so fun when it all starts to work.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, a couple things. One of the best loan officers at getting mortgages from listing agents is the Gaylord Hanson team down in San Diego. I interviewed them and we talked about their strategy. I'm going to put a link below, Little Mortgage Coach Mastermind. Well, hey, I love to keep these calls under 20 minutes. We're at about 16 minutes right now. For folks that want to reach out to you for any events that you're putting together, they want to reach out to you as a coach and a mentor, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
You can either do Cindy@CindyErtman.com is my email address. I'd love you to check out MortgageMastermindElite.com. Again, it's MortgageMastermindElite.com. I'm launching my new group starting October. I'm just finishing a year-long group now, which has been amazing. That's a really, really incredible program. It's only 12 people, so it's a very small, it's a really, really powerful group of high-level leaders that come together for the sake and the growth of all. We do 2 live events together, retreats together, so we really go deep to really sort of completely transform your business and your life. And it's been a really great year, so I know that this program has really impacted my current students in a really big way. So that's really fun. I love that. I am launching a new group model, which is going to be coming up we're going to launch in November, called Millionaire Mortgage Club, so I can help more people, kind of the mid-tier and lower-tier producers, kind of take it to the next level as well. So I'm excited about those programs, but I have a website at CindyErtman.com. Cindy@CindyErtman.com is my email. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, well, we will put links to those below. So if you're watching this, just go to the description, click the link. If you're watching this and you're a mortgage coach that hasn't done 20 total cost analysis yet, get a accountability coach and make that a priority. Partner, mastermind, call Cindy. So Cindy, you always do a great job of driving the Mortgage Coach mission. You're a great friend of everything we do here. I really appreciate you taking time out to give back.
Thank you, Dave. You're a rock star. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.